Who you get paired with in multiplayer can be a bit of a crapshoot, but sometimes somebody great comes along. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 teammates we all love in multiplayer games. Starting off with number 10, teammates who turn on their mics and use them properly. It sucks when you join a game and nobody has their mics on. I'm not talking about like this happening in casual games like Fall Guys, where it doesn't really matter that much and nobody really has a lot to say. I'm talking about games where it requires serious cooperation if you want to succeed, like CSGO or Dota 2. Like, if nobody's talking, it's not a particularly good sign. It's extra nice when teammates with mics don't do annoying things, like leave them on all the time so you can hear their breathing, or they have shouting kids in the background, or they're just really aggressive and swear all the time. When people are calm, collected, and engaged with a clear speaking voice and knowledge about how to communicate in the game, that's great. The best teammates are the ones who talk, you can understand what they say, and they're not throwing a fit or having a meltdown every time things don't go their way. A good communicator can win games and at least make things a lot easier for you, like knowing enemy positions gives you a lot of control on the battlefield, and the only way you can get that is when teammates actually turn on their mics. At number 9 is teammates who don't kill steal. Stuff like shooting a down opponent before the guy who actually downed them gets a chance to off them isn't always a big deal, but it sucks if you're trying to compete in certain challenges or you're playing a game that doesn't give you nearly as much of a reward unless you get the full-blown kill, instead of just an assist, to have someone else roll in and just take away all the work. A lot of the time, kill stealing is basically just a pride thing, but it's still really nice when your team has the courtesy to not do it, even when it would be easy to do. And listen, we know it takes some practice and restraint to just not blast away at every enemy we see regardless of anything else in the game. Like, kill stealing it's gonna happen. That's why players who make the conscious effort not to kill steal deserve some respect. It is sometimes hard to do from either self-control or even just a reflex perspective, and the people who don't do it specifically for their team members' benefit. Good job, teammates who don't kill steal. And number 8 is teammates that stick around to the bitter end. Like, it would be easy to quit mid-match, but these guys don't. They never quit mid-match, no matter how bad it's going for them. These are the truly committed players out there. They don't quit out of a Warzone game after being downed, which sucks because, I mean, if you do go down, you can be revived. Your team can't revive someone if they leave the match, and that makes them a man short. I mean, we get it. It sucks to sit around and wait in a multiplayer game. People want to get in the action, but in some games, just really poor etiquette to quit mid-match. It sucks to be on the losing side of things in something like League of Legends, which can see a losing game go on for a while, but teammates who stick with it, even if they're not the best in the game, should be respected for at least seeing things through to the end, and not just bailing on you when things get tough. Believe me, that is an easy route to take with a lot of games that don't even really care about it anymore. Thing is, there are games where you need to care. And number 7 is teammates who stay with the team, especially in battle royale games where people just want to run around by themselves, even in a team game, or in like PvE type games like Left 4 Dead or any MMO raids. They don't rush ahead of the team and get killed. Instead, they stick together and they work together. This is especially bad when people do it in games like Dota 2 or League of Legends, where getting killed gets the enemy team experience. The more someone runs around on their own and gets killed, the tougher the enemy team becomes. This is about as fundamental a thing teammates need to do in a competitive multiplayer game as any, but we all know how genuinely rare it actually is, especially if playing in public games. It just sucks when you join a game, see that your teammates are all going in different directions, and oh, they're all dead. When you don't have to deal with that, sometimes it's just a breath of fresh air because it's easy to get used to. At number 6, teammates who play their roles. This is especially important in games like Overwatch or Team Fortress, where classes are very important. Instead of just playing however they want, they stick to the strengths of whatever class they're playing as and work as a unit with the team rather than being a burden. Engineers actually repair vehicles in a battlefield and lay mines at strategic points. Heavy MG guys actually take position with their guns instead of just rushing forward. Tanks in Overwatch actually support the team instead of of running off by themselves, and all the characters use their special abilities when they're best for the team instead of just the moment it becomes available. Or this is a particularly useful one when you play a medic or a healer and you just actually stick to it. In some games like Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch, a team with a good healer can be almost unstoppable. They can take a mediocre team and turn them to world beaters, it feels like. That's how much a good healer can turn the tide. This is mostly a thing for players who are experienced with the game, but it's especially nice when you see it come from a newbie. They actually took the time to check out the tutorials and do a little learning before jumping into the game, so they're not totally useless right from the start. That is something that we love to see. And number 5 is teammates who actually spot for you. Like, using your mic is a good step, but when used in conjunction with spotting buttons found in games like Apex Legends, you'll be pointing out items, enemy positions, and pretty much everything else to your team with perfect precision. It can't be understated how useful these features are in any game that incorporates them, especially Battle Royale style games that have these huge open maps where it can be easy to miss opponents and it's difficult to describe where they are. To add to this, I want to mention that teammates in cooperative games that don't steal from you. They don't take the floor chicken from you in Streets of Rage or the pills in Left 4 Dead. They just point it out and let you take it when you need it instead of trying to hoard everything for themselves. That person is invaluable. A team that spots or uses callouts for one another is a team that wins games. It's such an easy thing to do too, but it's still something that not everyone makes use of, even though it can make a massive difference. And number 4, teammates who know the tricks of a game. These are teammates who have the experience and technique to do everything right in a game. I'm not talking about cheating, obviously. Those types of teammates suck no matter what game you're playing. What we're talking about is more people who know how to play the game in the most effective ways, using their knowledge or some more advanced or lesser known mechanics to get a head up. They know how to do stuff like wall bounce in Gears of War, or attach a trophy system to a vehicle to protect it from rockets in Warzone. Things that you might not know how to do before getting into a game, they know how to do because they've been into the game the whole time. Hell, in old school shooters where there's gun pickups, these guys know where all the best weapons and power-ups are. They're especially handy in a game like Rocket League though, where so much of a game is about pulling off trick shots, and you'd never know about it from just playing the basic practice mode. These teammates have the experience to back it up. It's not just raw skill, but seeing them in action might even teach you a thing or two. It's even better when they're kind enough to give you a few pointers, but just having them around, having people on your team who know what they're doing and seeing them doing it, it can be great. At number 3 is the power leveler. Most multiplayer games are all about competition, which usually means it's every man for himself, but sometimes a teammate comes along who's a little more selfless. They give you tools and tons of resources if it's a survival game, or offer to level up your character by taking them to much more difficult areas and doing all the fighting so you can get stronger way faster. Or if it's a game with currency, they might trade thousands of bucks for no reason other than be nice. Sometimes they're teammates, sometimes they're just random people who decided to be nice while wandering around in the wilderness. It doesn't really matter, but these types of people are always awesome. They can help you get through a lot of tedious grinding in a lot of these games and potentially save you dozens of hours of basically wasted time. They're just awesome people all around, even if they sometimes break the difficulty curve of some games. It's the thought that counts. With so many games adding tons of grindy nonsense to them too, having a power leveler around can turn a frustrating game that's super tedious into something really fun. At number 2 is teammates who play the comedian. Sometimes you don't have to be good at a game or even all that helpful to be an awesome teammate. In certain games, it's good enough to just be fun to be around. For this, we're talking about more casual games, ones that aren't super high stress or anything. Like if you're playing a regular game of Left 4 Dead instead of cranking up the difficulty, or you're just grinding for experience in some game like Destiny. You know, like low impact activities, usually cooperative stuff rather than competitive. Like in competitive games, these types could transform into teammates we hate, but under the right circumstances, they can turn a boring session into something memorable. Like nobody wants a dude who's messing around and making jokes and interrupting things in a serious game where screwing around can waste everyone's time and even make them lose. But in something less intense, it can be great. They do dumb stuff and use emotes in funny ways. Maybe they've got a custom spray that's funny and they spam it all over the place. I don't know. Maybe they got a Duke Nukem soundboard or play something ridiculous musically over the microphone. They're the type of teammate that goes the extra mile to make more boring parts of the games fun. Even if they're usually not the technical best teammates, they can sometimes be the most memorable. And finally, number 1, probably the most obvious, but also the most worth saying, teammates who are just crazy good at the game. Sometimes you just get lucky and get some pro MLG guy who can 360 no-scope with his hands tied behind his back, blindfolded. They're the type of people that just totally carry the rest of their team, and it sucks to play against somebody like this. When you're on the same team, it's like the best thing. Sure, sometimes you're not doing much, but your team is totally dominating the match. Yeah, at the end of the game, you've only got 2 kills and this dude has like 40, but at the end of the day, you won spectacularly. It's even better when the guy who's really good doesn't just go lone wolf. They work with the team and actively make everyone better. Like their skill and advice makes the team better. And when you win, you still feel like you earned it, even though it was clear the one guy on your team did all the heavy lifting. It's basically the teammate that combines all the best qualities of all the best teammates, and they're probably the rarest kind, but also the coolest to get paired with. Like we said, it really sucks to be on the team opposite this person, but when they're on your side, it is great. That's all for today, though. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications, and as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.